right, our next bout is presented by Complete Fighter. It's for the Valor lightweight title at 155 pounds. It's Nick Haymaker Baker at 6'13" and 1 no contest against Buck Yates at 3-0. Casey, what do you think about tonight's fight?
Well, I'll tell you what, coming in at 3-0, of course, that's an unblemished record, but Nick Haymaker Baker is no one to be toyed with. This guy throws for the fences and has vastly improved ground skills as of late.
Yeah, man, Nick Baker always brings it. He's fun to watch, much like what we had talked about earlier with Nick Gertz. Nick Baker's one of those guys who just goes out there and has fun. He will throw things that you've never seen before, say things to his opponent you've probably never heard before. Just one of those guys that goes out there and has fun. And when you're fighting a guy like that, you know, it's hard to contend against a guy who just doesn't really care.
Back to the cage for our almost set for our first fighter introduction. Here is Cody Gwynn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your amateur main event of this evening, and it will be to crown a Valor lightweight champion, brought to you by Complete Fighter Apparel. At this time, please welcome to the cage, the birthday boy, Nick Baker.
So the birthday boy, Nick Haymaker Baker, the first out, 6'13" and 1 no contest out of the F5 camp, out of Morristown, Tennessee. Nick Baker, more than 20 amateur bouts for Baker, and actually this will be number 21 for Baker. What about Baker's game? We've talked about his ability to throw those haymakers, but is this ground game improving if this does go to the ground?
I think it is improving, but you know, this is the thing. You know, when you look at a record like that, you may think, well, this is upside down. This means that this fighter is at a particular level. But when you see someone has had that much experience, you know that they've improved consistently with each fight. Okay, so you know, Nick Baker 2 fights ago and Nick Baker today is going to be different. Yes, I have seen improved ground skills. Will they be enough? Who can say?
Tyler, what do you think about Nick and areas that he's improved in?
Yeah, I've seen improvement, and as Casey was saying, man, there's nothing that can be said about you know, practice compared to actually fighting. You know, I've seen guys that were absolutely amazing in the gym. You know, the best looking guy in the gym, but then when it came to fight time, they couldn't put it together. And a guy who's fought as much as Nick Baker, you know, he doesn't have the best record, but at the same time, you know, he's probably worked out a lot of those nerves. He doesn't have those nerves. You're going against a 3-0 guy, you better believe that he's going out there and he doesn't want to be 3-1 to a guy that doesn't have the best record. So I really think that the nerves will definitely play into a factor here, and Nick has the advantage there.
Nick Baker lost to John Smith in a unanimous decision at Apex 5 just under a month ago, and he's taken his opponents into deep water many a times. And talk more about him here.
Now, please welcome his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, Buck Yates.
Here comes Buck Yates at 3-0. Fights out of Ogles Martial Arts in Madisonville, Tennessee. Undefeated at 3-0. And it'll be interesting to see what Buck Yates' strategy is as we take a look at the tail of the tape. You see the experience advantage for Baker, and Baker also 9 years younger than Buck Yates, which is interesting. 2-inch height advantage for Baker. Weight is the same at 154 in this 155-pound Valor lightweight title bout. Tyler, what do you see?
Man, I see a guy that's much younger, but a lot older as far as a veteran status goes. You know, Nick is the taller opponent. You know, Buck Yates, 5'9", seems to be a little bit more physically, you know, a little bit more of a physical being than Nick. You know, we were talking about Nick's record, and not to go back to that, but I just want to also, you know, point out the fact that, you know, he doesn't have an upside-down record just against regular Joes. I mean, he has fought, you know, everybody that you could possibly fight pretty much. You know, he's fought super tough opponents, and I think this is just another one of those guys that, you know, is a very tough opponent for Nick, and, you know, we'll see how he handles it.
you know, in regards to Buck Yates too, you don't really know what you're going to get because, you know, of his 3 wins, 1 was a TKO, 1 was a verbal submission, and 1 was a decision, unanimous decision. So what are we going to see from Buck Yates tonight? That's the question.
Nick Haymaker Baker and Buck Yates. That's our Valor lightweight title bout. For our official introductions, back to the cage in Cody Gwynn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is for the Valor Lightweight Championship, brought to you by Complete Fighter Apparel. When the action begins, your referee in charge of this bout is Josh Ward. Entering first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he enters the cage with a record of 6 wins, 13 losses, and 1 no contest. He weighed in 154 pounds, fighting in the F5 in Morristown, Tennessee, Nick Haymaker Baker. Standing across the cage tonight, fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the cage tonight with a record of 3 wins with no defeats. He weighed in 154 pounds, fighting out of Ogles Martial Arts in Madisonville, Tennessee, Buck Yates.
Buck Yates has brought some fans, and there were some boos, some Haymaker fans chiming in as well. Nick Haymaker Baker in the black trunks with a red trim. Buck Yates in the all black trunks, and we are underway. Round 1, 3 3-minute rounds in this Valor lightweight title bout at 155, presented by Complete Fighter.
Here we go, Buck Yates closing the distance.
Some knees from Yates.
Go. Yates with good pressure up against the cage, looking for that guillotine. That is a solid attack if he can get under the neck of Nick Baker.
Quick foot stomp there by Yates.
Yates with great pressure there. And the takedown, beautiful work.
And Yates off to a good start here as we're 1 minute into round number 1.
Yates there in half guard. That's a good position to control and hold the guy down. Nick Baker's known for trying to stand back up. When you've got that lace around the leg, that makes it a little bit more difficult to do so.
They go away from the cage here. Tyler, how would you like to see Buck advance his position here?
You know, me personally, if I'm him, I'm not going to advance from there. I'm going to stay right there. I'm just going to be a lot more active. I'm going to throw a lot to the body, a lot of elbows to the body, you know, punches to the head. Like I said, I really like being in half guard personally.
Yeah, he's not very active, so it looks like he is trying to do something else.
Yeah, he really needs to get a lot more active there. It's a good spot to be, but he also knows that Nick's very squirrely.
Looks like Baker's going after a Kimura over here on the right arm of Buck Yates. From our vantage points, we can't see exactly what's going on, but it looks like Yates has stripped it and continues to control the position.
And a punch from the guard from below by Haymaker. Again, it looks like trying to pass and get in a half guard is Yates. Leaning up against the cage.
Here we go. It looks like Baker's about to get that left leg free. He does, and now he is in full guard.
Under 30 seconds left in round number 1 for the Valor lightweight title.
You gotta work, guys.
Referee telling both fighters they've got to work. And
there we go.
3
Buck
punches.
Yates explodes right there.
Stuck one to the body. Couple more partial shots there, and a good first round for Buck Yates. Tyler, get the round there.
Yeah, Buck Yates definitely with that round. I feel like he may have respected Nick Baker a little too much in that round.
Looks like he may have a cut here going on.
Oh wow.
On maybe the forehead of Buck Yates.
Maybe a little too safe in the way he fought him there, but again, a slick, a fighter like Nick Baker who's very aggressive. You got to do that sometimes.
Well, I'm seeing some blood here on the eye of Buck Yates. That could possibly change the course of this fight. It could have been with a headbutt. Who knows? But I'll say this, Nick Baker was very refined in the position. Even though he lost the round, he didn't seem to be out of his element or concerned. Buck Yates is going to have to, I think, pick up the pace a little bit in those positions. I don't think Josh Ward is going to allow him to lay there as much in rounds 2 and 3.
You saw the takedown there on the replay by Buck Yates, and it's interesting. That's the only thing I can think of is maybe a clash of the heads that caused that cut, because there was maybe one punch from Nick from his guard, but that's about it. And we'll see if Haymaker targets it.
Yeah, there's a
bad
lot of
place,
swelling.
too.
Yeah.
It's in a bad place right over that eye.
It's over the right eye of Buck Yates, who had a good first round.
And you better believe Nick will target it.
Oh, wow. And that is classic Nick Haymaker Baker right there. Buck Yates so powerful, looking to drive Nick Baker face first, possibly into a sprawl position, looking for the back. But Nick Baker relaxed in his position.
Controlled the hands of Haymaker, who was raining down early on the attack here in round number 2.
Wow, that mouse above the eye of Buck Yates is absolutely sick. I can see it from right here. There's a lot of swelling.
Now some knees, a third one by Yates. Buck Yates in the all black trunks, Nick Haymaker Baker in the black trunks with the red trim.
And Baker targeting that eye. He's looking for it.
Yeah, man.
He knows it's there.
Nick's a grimy fighter, man. You better believe he'll be looking for it.
Yeah, it is. That swelling continues to grow over Yates' right
Big
eye.
shot by Baker. Oh, and Nick Baker gets dropped. Buck Yates all over Nick Baker.
Buck Yates raining down with hammer fist. Can Nick Baker hang on? Was on the attack and then decked.
Full mount position by Buck Yates. Buck Yates going buck wild here at the International.
Oh.
Rear naked choke.
Buck Yates trying to finish this with a minute left to go in round number 2. Can Nick Baker hang on?
Not a good position. That rear naked choke is secured. Buck Yates pulling with all he's got.
Trying to slide that chin out is Baker. And he let it go. Still has the back with 30 seconds to go.
It appears as though somebody is bleeding. Baker may be bleeding, in fact. There is blood all over the arm of Buck Yates, where he's been attacking that rear naked choke position.
I almost thought it was coming out of his mouth initially.
Yates has to be very, very careful here with that eye. Baker's moving around trying to, oh wow, there it was.
Deep.
Rear naked choke. Buck Yates with the victory. Wow, what a fight.
Wow, look at the swelling over the eye of Buck Yates.
Mark Law's immediately on that one, man.
Look, Mark Law's on both guys.
Mark lives for this. He loves this, man.
Nick Baker is so frustrated.
And only seconds before the bell.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like 8 or 9 seconds before the end of the round, but just couldn't hold on. The choke was too tight.
Casey, take us through this replay.
You know, right here, it looked like Baker was going to come on strong, and out of nowhere, Buck Yates with a big shot drops Baker, and the rest is elementary.
I think it was a right that decked Haymaker initially. What'd you think? Pretty impressive first time we've seen Buck Yates.
Yeah, man, very impressive, very aggressive. You know, round 1, like I said, he kind of came in and he took him down. He was a little safe, but man, he completely changed that round 2. As soon as he would get on top of Nick Baker, it was, you know, he was wild at that point. He would get on top of him, keep throwing, advanced position. Very, very impressive.
And he went for it, Casey. It was down to the final 15, 14 seconds left in the round, and he wanted to finish it.
And honestly, both men went for it throughout this fight. They gave it their all, and they electrified this crowd. Props to both guys.
Wow. Terrific matchmaking as well by the guys at Valor Fights, Tim Loy and the crew, Cody Gwynn. They do such an awesome job every time, deliver with entertaining fights throughout. And Tyler, we've seen it top to bottom in our card tonight.
Yep. It's been a great card, man. Still, gosh, how many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left.
Buck Yates is going to have a lot of fun getting that golf ball out of his eye later tonight.
Look at that thing. All right, to the cage for the announcement of our official decision. Here's Cody Gwynn.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Josh Ward has called a stop to this fight. 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the second round. Your winner by submission via rear naked choke out of the blue corner, Buck Yates.
A second round submission via rear naked choke for Buck Yates, who stays undefeated at 4-0, and that may open up even more opportunities for Buck Yates. The win for Ogles Martial Arts out of Madisonville, Tennessee, and Nick Haymaker Baker falls to 6-14-1, but once again entertain the fans. That's a big reason why he is so popular on so many events.
We've not seen the end of Nick Haymaker Baker by any means.
No. Great effort here tonight.
I'm here with your winner,
Good
Buck
Adam
Yates.
Townsend.
Man, that was a heck of a fight. Got the nice rear naked choke submission in the second round. Seconds to go. Tell us a little bit about the fight.
You know, Nick isn't scared of anything or anybody. He fights all the time. You know, props to him for fighting on his birthday. He's a hard hitter. I knew that. Didn't really plan on taking him down. It was just there. You know, somebody that was picking winners for this fight, I think said I wouldn't get him down or have a hard time. They're going with him, but glad they didn't put any money on it.
Most definitely. Well, I heard that you maybe, tell us about your hematoma and then tell us about your retirement possibly.
When I had him down the first round, I was in his guard. Toward the end of the round, I was hitting him, and he put an elbow up. Don't think he tried to hit me with it. It just happened. And I knew immediately. I mean, I could see swelling, or what is it? Is it cut? A little cut, but just a big swell, yeah. So.
What about the retirement?
Just taking one fight at a time right now. I haven't looked past this one, but I'm close to the end.
Well, I wouldn't retire after a performance like that. Does anybody want you to thank?
What was that?
I wouldn't retire after a performance like that. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
And I don't know. I'm just trying to think about it. Oh, you might want to think, yeah. Primarily, my beautiful wife that's out there, wherever she is. She's put up, I'm 33 years old, wonderful wife, got my own business, got 2 kids. It's not easy to train to do this stuff at my age. And she's put up with a lot. So Jenny, I love you, thank you. And then these guys over here, my team, they're great too.
Well, there you have it, your winner, Buck Yates.
Thank you, Adam Townsend. Yeah, that is a factor. Buck Yates at 33
and a gentleman. Buck Yates,
yeah.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, terrific.